I'm talking to Kevin Brown, who's Director and Head of Structuring and Market Infrastructures at Global Transaction Services, Royal Bank of Scotland. Kevin, the three themes of Sibos this year are regulation, rebuilding trust and recovery. How do you think these themes reflect your current business focus?
The themes of this year's Sibos are timely and well judged. Whilst the stable and sustainable nature of transaction banking has been recognised through this difficult period, there are still challenges ahead. These issues feature strongly in the dialogue we're having with our clients, both corporate and financial institutions at this time. The trust and recovery theme ties in well with those dialogues. Sustainable transaction banking business and reliance on secure, efficient platforms and a balanced global footprint, good people, and clearly working closely with client relationships to ensure success are key in this difficult world. The RBS GTS business, which is one of the top 5 transaction banking businesses represented in over 35 countries, has strongly focused on these attributes, working closely with its clients through these difficult times.
How well do you think the industry is dealing with these three issues?
Generally, I think the industry is responding well to these challenges. The financial crisis has highlighted the value of transaction banking, both to banks in terms of the reliance on low capital usage and regular revenue from clients, but also to clients in supporting their businesses through these difficult times, both in terms of payment activity, their working capital and also their trading activity globally. One of the key issues we're seeing is the focus on liquidity. The importance of liquidity in the financial system has certainly been one of the key focuses of the regulators. And we've seen many regulators, both globally and locally in jurisdictions that we operate, strengthening their requirements and also looking at how they monitor and measure banks in terms of their performance. There's also already been some response to that, and I'll pick up on just one or two areas. I think our key concern as a bank is that the response is both measured, prudent, but also drives the right behaviour. So if we take in turn Basel III, for example, the Basel Committee's review, whilst the changes have not yet come in, I think it's fair to say their focus has been on the liquidity generically in the business, and looking at how that liquidity is used and what are the right levels of liquidity required to support business. There are one or two areas that they've focused on that have a particular interest to transaction banking, and I think one of those is one of the ones that we're hearing from our clients and one of the ones we're discussing with our clients, and that's the particular use of liquidity and the types of liquidity and how we can use those. And I think, whilst the regulation is not yet fully formed, I think the dialogue on those issues will continue for some time. And we are very keen to ensure that, when that is introduced, it doesn't drive the wrong behaviour or perhaps, inadvertently impact the cost of the business to the detriment of clients. Locally, it's worth touching on what the FSA have done in the UK. I think the FSA have already acted very quickly in terms of looking at what they needed to do, introducing some requirements on banks, both in terms of reporting and the levels of liquidity required. I think here, again of interest to transaction banking, and particularly a focus for us, has been a focus on intraday liquidity and the reporting and usage of intraday liquidity. Again, this is a topic of strong dialogue with our clients, both in terms of the reporting that we will be required to do, but also I think the reporting that they may need to do, particularly where we're providing them or they are providing us with services. So I think the general theme for me is focusing on how we can navigate this changes in the regulatory environment with our clients, helping our clients navigate their way through these changes so that we can both be successful going forward.
What actions still need to be taken?
We need to continue to work through with the industry and the regulators to ensure that the changes that we make are both effective and have client focus. At RBS, we've been heavily engaged in the discussions both with our clients at industry level and direct with the regulators. Our recent client workshops, and we've had a number of these and are planning a few more, have focused quite strongly on these issues, and I think probably highlighted to me and to the team that these are clearly timely and important in terms of what our clients are looking for, and therefore I think important to the business generally. Our clients also expect a continued focus on efficiency and stability. Particularly, RBS sees those as core features and attributes of the transaction banking business, and we're looking to make sure that whilst we make these changes, that stability, that everyday heartbeat of the transaction banking business continues, both in a robust and controlled fashion, and that we're looking to introduce those changes well signposted and discussed with our clients. And I think also, we're looking always to try and make sure that there are common standards and approaches in there that make these easier to introduce from a client perspective. I think in general, the general approach is to look to see how we can simplify that complexity as we go through. It's a continued theme for us in terms of that further simplification of the approach. We think that works for us, it works for our clients, and it reduces risk in the system. In summary, we're looking forward to Sibos this year and continuing the dialogue with our clients. We expect liquidity to be one of the hot topics, clearly from what we've discussed already and the continued dialogue we're having with our clients. This is an important theme for them. At RBS, we have a strong commitment to helping and supporting our clients as we and they navigate our way through the changes that need to be made going forward.